Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We're learning an Amud today. Today's official Amud is, what's the Amud today? We were in Daf Nun Aleph. We are still in Nun Aleph Amud Beis. Today is Nun Beis Amud Aleph. We are still in the middle of Nun Aleph Amud Beis. Middle of the wide lines. Toshma mi sheyesh loi. Yeah, I'm going back a little bit. Mi sheyesh loi. The story is as follows. We are now in the thicket, in the middle of a machlokes, Abayey and Rava. About what? Kiddushin shelo nimseru labia. A man gave Kiddushin to one of two sisters, approaching both sisters. One of them is shliach for her and her sister, or either or. And he's telling them, one of you is mekudeshes to me. We don't know who. So then, on one hand, Kiddushin could apply because one of them is his wife, the other one is a sister. Fine. Many people have sisters-in-law, that's part of life. But the question is, over here, he doesn't know, or we don't know if he knows, the Adim, the women, the whoever, we don't know, on the outside at least, we don't know if he knows either, but definitely it's not known to us who is the wife and who is the sister. That's a big problem. Why? Because if it's his wife, matov v'manoim, very good. But if he is now continuing to chuppah and to having relations with somebody who may not be his wife but her sister, it's an isur koles. So you can't consummate those marriage. Those marriage are intrinsically not consummatable. You know this word? Then unconsummatable. Yes. Yes, he didn't. I thought it was going to give me the spell checker. It didn't. No. I made it up as I was this, but then it's true, unconsummatable. Yeah, and the mechaven, the English language. So then, right. So then, we had beer yesterday. So now, machlokes Abayey and Rava. Machlokes Abayey and Rava. Abayey says the Kiddushin is Kiddushin. I wouldn't say it's good Kiddushin. They have to get a get. Why? Because practically, you have a barrier here. You don't know who to continue with. But Lamais, it's Kiddushin enough to require a get. That's Abayey. Rava says no. Rava says Kiddushin, Shelo nimseru labia is not Kiddushin. And you're asking why? According to Rava, there's the pasuk. Kikach ishishu be'olo. If Be'ila cannot happen, and it's intrinsic right from the start of the Kiddushin, it's not a mistake that happened later. It's right from the root of the Kiddushin. Those Kiddushin do not allow you to have bia. Mimele, such Kiddushin are non-Kiddushin according to Rava. Now, I just want to clarify again, so the questions shouldn't repeat themselves. The women are all willing partners, okay? In all these different cases, both women are absolutely running after Mr. One guy. The two sisters, that's not an issue. They're all willing partners here. The question is, what did the guy mean? Very good. Toshma, come and listen to the Mishnah. Mi sheyesh loi. Let's listen to this Mishnah. Let's look at the Mishnah. That is a quote from Daf, if I'm not mistaken, Samech Daled. Mi sheyesh lo shtei kitei bonois. A person has two groups of girls. Mishtei noshim. Now he has two groups of daughters. One of them are above Naira, above Masvitzva and onwards. Let's say they are 19, 17, and 15. Let's say, and they are his daughters from one wife. And now the other group are how old? 9, 7, and 5. Do me a favor, keep simple numbers, okay? 19, 17, and 15, 9, 7, and 5. These are the two groups of girls that he has. The Omar. Comes the man, and he's telling BSD, I'm in trouble. Kidashti es biti agdoilo. A man came to the door, and now let's assume that all the older girls, they made him shliach, right? Remember what we said? The older girls said, we're all willing to marry anybody who comes through the door. They're so desperate. They live in Yehupitzville, South Dakota, no shiduchim. Any man who looks frum comes through the door, yalla, we're at him. So now, these girls all made the father shliach. The father potentially can be mekadosh either the older girls or, all the more so, the younger girls. And all he remembers is that he said clearly, or not so clearly, one clear thing he remembers is he said to the man, I'm a Kaddish, I'm giving you biti agdoilo. And the man said, gave him a ring to the money to the father, Pruta, and he said, your gdola girl, your old girl, your big girl is married to me. Now says the father, I don't know what I meant actually. There's whole confusion over here. What do you mean the big girl? He didn't say the oldest. Gdola, old, big, mature, whatever you want to call it. The Eini Yodea, now I'm not sure which one I meant. I don't even know which one did we both have in mind. It's not clear even to me. Eini Yodea, I'm Gdoilo Shebagdoilos. I don't know if I meant the oldest of the oldest, the 19 years old. Yeah, the oldest of the oldest group. Maybe I meant the 9 years old because she is relatively the oldest one of the younger group, of the younger league. Yeah. Maybe I even meant the 15 years old, right? Who was the youngest of the teenagers, right? Why? She gdoila min gdoila shebektanus. So still relatively, she's still older than the oldest one of the ktanus. Yes, she still belongs to the big group. She is viewed technically, verbally, you can call her big. Yeah. So then he's not sure which one he meant bichlal. He's not even sure what the story was. Kulan asuros. All of them are asur, which means none of them can marry anybody else without receiving a get from Mr. Knock on the door, right? The all besofek that maybe they are mekudoshois, right? Chutz miktanosh bektanois. Divrei Rabbi Meir. Yeah, the only one that is exempt and clearly does not have to get the get because clearly she's not mekudeshes is the youngest of the youngest, says Rabbi Meir, because she can never be defined as a gedola. Everybody else is older than someone. So maybe big, old is relative, Albert Einstein. Yeah, theory, relativity. But Shane can hear the youngest one, she's out. Now, that's so nice and understandable. No, it's not. Because according to Rava, that's bad news. Because what did Rava say? That if you're Mekadesh in such a way, right from the start, you Mekadesh the big one, you're very ambiguous about the big one. And then what happens? According to Rava, nothing started because they're sisters. So if you can't approach any of them, continue to the Badekin and the Chuppah and the Bia, then the whole Kiddushin never started. And all of them should go scot-free. So Rabbi Meir is a Tana and Rava is an Amayra. Oi, life's not fair. So how do you explain Rava's opinion? Answers Rava, you know what the story over there is? The story is as follows. The story is as follows. At the beginning, when the Kiddushin was given, they were huku. They knew which girl he meant. Father and Chosan knew very well. Which one did he mean? They knew that they mean whatever, let's say Rocha, Leah, Shprinza, Bela, they knew that it's Leah, let's say, one of the big ones. Later on, nisarvu. What do you mean they're nisarvu? Which means shochach eiza gdoila pira shloi, says Rashi. The story was as follows. In other words, he remembered two things. He remembered, the word they used was the big one, and they had in mind a big one. They were looking right then at Leah, the 17 years old. Let's say someone, one of the girls, Leah, the one who makes blinches, the best blinches maker. Yeah, clearly. That big one is the one he wants, but he used the word Gdola, and then they forgot. Then they forgot which big one did they mean. Yeah, he remember receiving for a big one. Then he knew which big one he meant, and they were clear. And then they forgot which big one did we talk about. I have so many big ones, and I'm confused. The confusion happened later. Now that's very good, because of course Rava, as I told you many times, Rava of course believes that if you knew at the time of Kiddushin who you're marrying, and later on there is an ta'aruves, later on there's a mix-up, there's a mixture and confusion, then of course originally the Kiddushin started. And had he wanted to, he could have had Bia with one of them. Later on, confusion started. It doesn't annul the Kiddushin Lemafre, obviously not, because the Kiddushin started off well, good, functional, right? But then he forgot. Now, by the way, he was not yet with any of them. If that's what you're going to ask me, there was no Badeka, no Chuppah, and not even Yaakov Shreki singing. Nothing. Yeah. What happened then? They don't know. They don't know how to approach, how to proceed. And therefore, they all need the get. That's very good with Rava. Daikanami. And I'll prove it to you, says the Gemara. It's Meduyak. It's inferred from the Mishnah. The Ktani, it says in the Mishnah, Eini Yoidea. Velo Ktani Ein Yadua Shmamina. The words of the Mishnah are Eini Yodea, a little bit of Hebrew grammar. Eini Yodea means what? I don't know. Ein Yadua means it is not known. Not the same. If he says Eini Yodea, it means to say I was Mekadesh, then everything was good and it was clear to me which big one I meant. Now Eini Yodea. Now I don't know. At present, I don't know. But if you say Ein Yadua means it is not known, it was never known. As a fact, it was never known. And that's not what's written in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says Eini Yodea means now, at present, I, first person present, I do not know that is now. Mashma before and Zinu Shmamino. Very good. So Rava came out very well with the Mishnah. Very nice. If so, what's a Kiddush? What's a Kiddush? Obviously, if you have Kiddushin that are good Kiddushin, right? It's not Einam Nesurim Labia. You had amazing, nice Kiddushin with a big one, and they knew everything. Later on, there's a mixture. Of course, obviously, if you mix up your wife, let's say, as I said, let's say, I believe it could have happened maybe in history. I didn't read all the childless truths in the world. Believe me, I didn't. Let's say there's a man who married the twin sister in New York, and her twin sister arrived from LA when, I don't know, a week or two later. He doesn't know who's his wife, and they're both lying. One of them is lying. I mean, the girls both want him, yeah? So the he's Yerushalayim. What's he going to do? He can't touch any of them, right? Because why? One of them is a wife, one of them is her cars. But of course, the marriage is good marriage, and they both need a get. That's not even a chiddush. So what's a chiddush? Answers the Gemara, La Puki mid Rabbi Yosi. Oh, there's another opinion there, the Mishnah Rabbi Yosi. What did Rabbi Yosi say? Rabbi Meir is coming La Puki to argue and exclude Rabbi Yosi. What did Rabbi Yosi say? The Omar lo imachis in nishnafshe lesfeika. Rabbi Yosi says a person does not machis, does not go down, does not enter, does not bring himself into a situation of sofek. And therefore says Rabbi Yossi as follows. Rabbi Yossi argues and he says, I know with certainty that if you said big one, you clearly meant, I know more than you, says Rabbi Yossi, because I know human psychology, says Rabbi Yossi, so to speak to the father. The only one that's usher that needs a get, or could be actually his good wife, is what? The Gdola, the biggest of the big. Why? Because he says by human psychology, the way Chazal view it, the way we view people, people don't say ambiguous statements about important things. The Gemara there compares it to Nedorim. Yeah, I'm reading Rashi inside. Lehazkir shem gdoila im lo gdoila shebekulan shemishtaka chadova shelo yebesofik. People, no, I will not say big and allow myself such a statement which is so ambiguous. Maybe big means 4 or 5 different girls. If I said big one, clearly I meant the biggest one. Otherwise, I would have used the name. We're talking here Kiddushin. We're not talking about, playing cards. When it comes to choshev halacha matters, people are careful, and people don't start a process which invites trouble, which invites, danger of confusion. Therefore, says Rabbi Yossi with certainty, no, I think that the only one married is the biggest of the big, the oldest of the old. In our case, 19 years old. Very good. Kamash Malan comes Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir argues. Machis inishnaf shelesfeika. Says Rabbi Meir, no. Rabbi Meir says, no, people can get confused. People are not always so yekish. And therefore, says Rabbi Meir, I'm concerned that yes, the person was a bit sloppy, and he says Gdola, and he doesn't know which Gdola it is now. Then he knew. Now he doesn't, and it's all sofik, and you have to give gittin to all the girls except for the youngest. Adkan, that case we saw yesterday. Toshma, Nun Aleph Amud Beis, so nice to see you. Nun Aleph Amud Beis, line starts with the word lesfeika. Toshma. Yeah, this starts easy and then becomes Yevomis. Toshma, today we're going to have a little shiur in Yevomis. Don't leave. Toshma, yeah. Toshma, stay in your seats, yeah? Is your heart okay? You need a doctor? We're going to have a few Yevomis case, but we'll make it easy. Be'ezus Hashem. The Kohen came on time. Toshma, mi shekidish achas mishteh achayos. Now we're talking about adults again, back to adult world. A man was Mekadesh one of 2 sisters, one of 2 shvesters. He doesn't know which one was Mekadesh. He forgot. He doesn't know. Oh, let's say Eino Yodea Izu Kiddush. I gave it away. I said he forgot. It's not what we think in Abayey, right? We think that right from the start, right? Eino Yodea, he doesn't know which one is Mekadesh. He himself, right from the beginning, the Kiddushin started with a root of Sofik. So we understand. Noisen get lezu, get lezu. He has to give a get to each one. That's not good with Rava. Because if you don't know which one right from the start, then what? Then nobody needs a get. And Rava is being attacked all the time here. And answers the Gemara, same thing. Oh, really? Originally he knew exactly that he wanted this one. And then there were twins. The other twin came and he got confused with the twins. Yeah. Okay, very nice. Fine. Nidekanami, okay, we have twin relatives, nieces, they come to us quite often for Shabbos. Neither even my wife, who's a woman, yeah, and I, we never know who's whom. Yeah, so I'm saying these are, yeah. So sometimes with twins you get mixed up. Wait, I'm offline. Okay, weiter. True, Baruch Hashem. So now, okay. So now he doesn't know. They were recognized originally. He knew very well who was marrying. Later on, there was a mix-up. Therefore, clearly, there's marriage who started off in a clear way. Oh, it says Eino Yodea means now he doesn't know. It doesn't say it is not known or it hasn't been known. He doesn't know now. Oh, if so, what's the chiddush? Again, what are you telling me? Again, there's no chiddush whatsoever. Yevomis. The chiddush is the seifa of the same Mishnah in Yevomis. Seifa etzrichalei. The seifa is a chiddush. Okay, before we continue, yeah, and I'm going to use the board now. Let's give an introduction before we continue. Okay, the story is as follows. We all know what's Ibum. Ibum, you need four factors for Ibum. You need a man who's dead. You know, four actors for the cast. Yeah, a dead man, the almona miskena, no children. They're not what? No, not children, and yes, brothers. Right? Okay, it's her surviving wife. She's almona. He has brothers. They have to do Ibum. All very nice. Now let me ask you the following question: what happens if a Yevomo, the woman, she has a sister, very nice girl. Now the Yavam wasn't yet meyabim her. What is he supposed to do with her? One of two things. What is they? What are the two things? Yibum or chalitza. Very good. Yibum or chalitza. As long as Yibum or chalitza weren't yet done, how she called Yavomo, and the situation between them, the relationship between them is called, starts with design. Zika, you got a trip to Switzerland, 5-star hotel for a week. Very good. Zika, very nice. Zika is connection, yeah, very nice between them. What about, he likes her sister. Her sister is a very good girl. Perfect, yeah. So can he marry the sister of his zukuka? Midoraisa, yes. Midorbono, no. That's the halacha. Just like Midoraisa, you can't marry your wife's sister, right? The Rabbanon, you can't marry your zukuka's sister. Zukuka is like semi-wife. There's already connection, as we explained many, many times. So since she and you already have connection even before the Yibum and or Chalitza, so she's something to you and any of your brothers. You can have 10 brothers, by the way, all in the same situation, yeah? And therefore, you're not allowed to marry. Okay, so now the guy's going to say, okay, so I'll do Chalitza. Yeah, she'll take off his shoe, spit on the floor, very nicely, say the text, out of my life, out of my sight, good, I want to marry your sister. No, because this is similar to Achaz Grushatoi. Midoraisa, you're not allowed to marry your divorced wife's sister, right? No, you're not allowed to. Ishal Choysa, it says Bechayeho, as long as they're alive. You're allowed to marry your widow's sister. You're not allowed, like Ariel Sharon did. You're not allowed to marry your divorced wife's sister. Okay, very nice. What about your chalutza's sister? No midrabanan. Okay, are we good? Yes, fine, amazing. So one is not allowed to marry the wife, he's not allowed to marry the sister of his zekuka or the sister of his chalutza. Lovely, fabulous, very good. So now, very nice. So what's the chiddush? We said, what's the chiddush? We have one person, that one person. Oh, I already jumped the gun here. I'm sorry, I'm doing it with my hand. I know it's not nice. Reuven is a guy who, no, he's a brother. Okay, Reuven, okay, Reuven doesn't know whether he married Rachel or Leah, which is sad. In other words, one of them is his wife, even according to Rava, right? But when he died, confusion started before his death because Rachel and Leah came to the scene. We don't know which came to the scene, which was the right one. Let's say the twin sisters. Yeah, Rachel and Leah, right? Both of them are either the dead man's wife, or they are not his wife, they are just his wife's sister. So now the one who came to the scene is Shimon. Shimon is the Yovam. Now, each girl for Shimon is either his Zekuka or Achois Zekuka. Okay? Either one. I'm not making, right? Good, obviously. Either they're the real Zekuka, they're the one who were really married originally, or they're the sister of the Zekuka. Fine. So what happens then? Mace. The guy died. Yeah, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so lines from the bottom of the page. Nun Aleph Amud Beis. Mace, Mr. Reuven, who doesn't know who he's married to. Veloy ach echod. That one brother. What should the brother do? Choyletz l'shtehen. Both of them require chalitza. What about if he likes one of them and he wants to do Yibum? By the way, I keep saying likes them. If he likes them, it's a reason not to do Yibum, by the way, because of the Yetzer Hara. Abba Shaul says in Yavamas, that's why today they don't do Yibum, because you may have your own interest there, and then it's like close to Kolis. Because, yeah, you should do it L'Shem Shamayim, because your wife's sister is only allowed to you as Yavomo. If she's not Yavomo, then it's an Isra Koris. So that's why they're always wary of doing Yibumim, because if you're not doing L'Shem Shamayim, it shmeks as it's a kilo, the osir kind of achos. That's really not the issue right now. Okay, so but then just he doesn't like her. But kids, so what happens? I'm asking you a question. I want you to answer me. Can Shimon do Yibum to Rachel? No. Why? Oh, meaning if Rachel is Yavama Matoivu Manoim, is the kuka. But if she's the kuka and she's the achos kuka, Mara uma'abed, because it's in the Rabbanon. You're marrying now your zekuka's sister. She may be the zekuka, she may be the sister. And if you hit the sister first, that's what it's called. You pogea. If you come to the sister of your zekuka, that's bad news. And therefore, what should you do? Chalitza, and so to the other one. Chalitza to this, chalitza to the other. This one chalitza, because once you did chalitza to her, then she became also as achos chalutzasoi. So chalitza, chalitza, beautiful. That's an easy case. Very good. Now you're holding very well. Amazing. So now Reuven has two brothers. Yeah. Reuven has two brothers. Reuven is so dead, we're not even looking at him. Reuven has two brothers. Levi and Shimon are both Yevomim, right? Levi and Shimon are the surviving brothers. Now both of them are Yevomim. Don't ask me again the question you always ask about who's the Bchor. Doesn't make a difference, okay? I mean, none of them is a Bchor. It does, but it's not the issue. The old one is in Chicago and he's in jail. It's not the issue here, right? Okay. So now he's in life sentence in Kuchapucha in Hawaii. Look, it's not the issue now. The kids are, you have two brothers now, Levi and Shimon, both are Yevomim, right? Of who? Either her or her, right? Okay, so what happens next? Echad choyletz, the echad meyabem, in that order. Comes Reuven. You know something? I'll make you feel good. Let's say Reuven is a Bchor. Okay, so he starts. Reuven is a Bchor. Fine. Levi, whoever, the Bchor. It's preferable that the Bchor does Yibum. You're right, but it's not the issue right now. Okay? So now, let's say the Bchor, whoever, Mr. Number One wants to do what? To do Yibum. Can he miyabim any of them? No. Why? Same reason as before. How can you miyabim someone who may be your achos zukosoi? So what should you do first? Chalitza. The first thing to be done is you should do chalitza to Rochel. Yeah, let's say Levi does chalitza to Rochel. And then what about Shimon? So now echad chalitz ve'echad meyabim. It's very nice she got chalitza. She may be the right one, the real zkuka, and the chalitza allowed her to go to the market. Or maybe she's her sister and she just took off his shoe and spat because it doesn't cost money and it's fun to do. Nothing. Maybe she's the real one. Hey, maybe she's the real one. Oh, her, Shimon. Now, Levi cannot marry the sister of his chalutza, but Shimon is allowed to marry the sister of his brother's chalutza. That's far we don't go. And therefore Shimon can do Yibum. Why? Shimon can do Yibum to Leah. No problem. Why can he do Yibum to Leah? Mimanafshach. If Leah is the right one, if Leah is the real Yavama, great. If Leah is the Yavama, he's doing a big mitzvah. And if she's just a woman from the street, she's just a woman from the street. She's a sister of his brother. She's a sister of his brother's chalutza. That far Chachamim didn't go. Okay, that's number one. Number two, fine. Now, in Kodmu v'Konsu, what happens if there were naughty boys? Let's say both of them were koines. I really need a tissue. I really don't. Anybody tissue? Me without tissue. They might have fallen. Thank you. I appreciate your good work. Thank you. So now, yes. Let's say I apologize for our viewers. Let's say they did not follow halacha. Levi did Yibum to the first girl. Why bad boy? Why is he a bad boy? You may be marrying who? Your Zukuka's sister. That wasn't right to do. He married her. It's Teufus. It's only Darbanon. The Kiddushin catches. Came afterwards Shimon and did Yibum to Leah. He's a good boy. Of course, he can do Yibum as a second stage, right? As we said before. Either she's the Avoma, Givaldig, or she's somebody else, also Givaldig. But now, do we force him to divorce? He didn't do the right thing. When Levi married her, the first one, Rochel, do we make him divorce with the Eved? No. But the Eved, we don't make him divorce. Ein mutzi noiso miyodom. Why not? Says Rashi, something very cool. Retroactively, now that Leah was misyabim, she's not his kuka anymore. In other words, the problem was, why couldn't Levi marry Rochel? She may be the sister of his kuka. Once his kuka did yibum or chalitza, then she's out of the picture. So although it's happening, the order is back to forth, back to front. Lamaisa right now, he's not married anymore to his Zekuka's sister, because that girl is not his kuka. Because that girl is already out of Zika. Because once you're in Yibum or Chalitza, you're out of the Zika. So although what he did was wrong, but now, what's the sentence in English? All ends well? How do you say it? All's well and ends well. Sof tov hakol tov. That's the right way of saying it. Oh, Hebrew. Sof tov hakol tov. That's the ulpan. That's what I'm saying. In Hebrew. Yeah? Sof tov hakol tov. So therefore, at the end of the day, it's all good. I did an Avera. What do you mean? Says Rashi the Rabbanon. Rabbanon are not so machmir. If right now, at the end of the day, you are married to a woman who's either Yavama, big mitzvah, or she was your Zkuka sister, but now she's not your Zkuka sister, because her sister not Zkuka anymore. Her sister is in Yibum. She's in a good stage already. At that point, because A, now it's good. B, it's only the Rabbanon. Yalla, let them, stay together and live happily ever after. Now, continues the Gemara. Now, the Gemara is going to tell you now what I already told you. The way to do it, lechatchila, I'm not going to do this again. Now you're going to get it without the chart. What's the right way of doing it? Reuven or Shimon or Levi, the Bchor. The Bchor is the one who starts doing it first. What should you do to the first girl? Chalitza. You can't do Yibum, because maybe you're coming now to your Zkuka's sister. So do chalitza. Chalitza is always on the safe side. When you learn Yivam Yisrael Hashem, you see chalitza is always the solution of you don't know what to do. Do chalitza, because chalitza you're not touching, you're not having relations. Worst comes to worst, she's the strange woman who took off your shoe and spat in your face, in the floor in front of your face. So good. So first chalitza v'adar yibumi, and then the other guy can do yibum. Why? Because there's no zika anymore to the sister. Either this one is the right one, or it's the what? It's a sister of his brother's chalutza, shine it's beseder. Aval yibumi v'adar nichlitz loy. But first to do yibum and then chalitza loy, the kapaga b'achos kuko. So I don't have to say it again because it's said already 3 times. You're not allowed to do bia. Yeah, it's bia. Yibum first and then chalitza to the other one. You can't do because you may be hitting, you may be first coming to someone who's the sister of your skuka. Beautiful. Toshma. The fun continues. There are 2 men who marry 2 sisters, okay? They're not brothers necessarily. They're not brothers, actually, as we're going to see later. Yeah, Reuben and Shimon are not brothers, and they married who? Rochel and Leah, the sisters. You know what happens? Nobody knows which one was Mekadesh. Yeah, that's the joke, the Israeli holes, you have like 3 chasanas in the same hole, in 3 different entrances. So they got confused between the chas and kala. Yeah, Bekitzer, they don't know who is Mekadesh who. So what do you do now? Now it's a suffix. Which sister is Mekudesh to which person? Zenos and Shnei Gitin. Zenos and Shnei Gitin. Each one should give 2 Gitin. Reuven should give a get to Rochel and Leah, and Shimon should give a get to Rochel and Leah. That's all very nice, but it's not nice. Because Rava said that if I Kiddushin Shalom Misulabi as Nishka Kiddushin, Achinami, same answer. Shehukrul Basof Nisavu. At the beginning, we knew that Reuven and Rochel are the sweethearts, and Shimon and Rochel are an amazing couple. We always knew that at the beginning. And then there was all mixed up, and people were lying, or people of this. We don't know what happened. Twins. There was a confusion later on. So then in Achinami, of course, it's Kiddushin. And later started, getting confused. Daikanami, and the same diuk again and again. Ktani eino yodea, velo ktani ein yadua. Shma mino. Shma mina. We can hear from here that eini yodea means he doesn't know. Now they don't know, but beforehand they knew. If so, again, what's the chiddush? Obviously, yeah. Are we just screen playing over here? Well, it's a chiddush. Answers the Gemara. Seifeit tzrichalei. Now we're going to have another case of yibum. Oh, we're going to have now on top of that yibum. A higher stage of yibum. Yibum level 3. Yeah. What happens if both died? They died. Yeah. In other words, both Reuven and Shimon. Okay, let me redo the chart a little bit. Mace, which means the two people who are not brothers, who died. Reuven died and Shimon died. Now we have a question. Both Rachel and Leah may be Sofek Yavomo for Reuven's brother and for Shimon's brother, right? So then, Zecholetz Lishten, Vezecholetz Lishten. They all do chalitzos. One of them does chalitza to both of them. The other one does chalitza to both of them. Nobody can do what? As we're going to explain also later why. Nobody can do ibum here b'chlal. Here it's getting more complicated. For sure, the first one you eat cannot be chalutza, right? You have to do chalitza to both. The other one, the brother of the other dead guy, also has to do chalitza to both. The truth is he may be able to do yibum to the last one. The fourth connection could, I believe, be yibum. But let's leave that for later. Lechatchila do chalitza. Now, yeah, that's the safest thing. Now, lezeh echad v'lezeh shnaim. One dead guy had one brother surviving, one Yovam. The other dead guy had two brothers, Yosef and Benjamin. Right? So then, what do? What's the way to go about it? Ha'echad, the Amud. Ha'echad cholitz l'shten. Reuven does chalitza and chalitza, right? You cannot do this one. Of course, you can do ibum. You can start with ibum. You may be hitting on what? Achos kukosoi. What about her? Can you do ibum to this one? I'm asking a question. Can you do ibum to this one? Can you marry this one? No. Why? She's not. First of all, she's achos chalutzosoi. For him, she's achos chalutzosoi. True. That's what I told you. You're looking at me. Yeah. She's a sister with chalutza, so she can't marry her. So what can you do to her? Chalitza. Finished. Now, what about the other two? The two guys, Yosef and Binyamin. Bashnaim, those two, echad choletz, the echad miyabem. Oh, the other two, Yosef and Binyamin, one does chalitza. One of them, let's say Yosef does say chalitza, and this one in Binyamin over here does yibum. Yeah, then he does yibum. Why is that? Yeah, he does chalitza for her and yibum to her. Yeah. Why is that? Well, clearly, he's out of the picture. The first guy, chalitza, out, finish. You're not in the picture, and you're not a brother. Now, what about here? Same as before, right? Yeah, as we said before, the first guy should do chalitza because you can't start with yibum because maybe you're eating your achos kukos, right? The second guy, Binyamin, he can do yibum, right? Now let's stress what we said before. If you only have one brother on each side, you can only do chalitza. Why? You only have two brothers. So therefore, one on each side, not from the same family. One brother from Levinstein, one brother from Matthias. So the Levinstein guy did chalitza. You start with chalitza. Can you do yibum to the other one? No. What about Matthias? He does chalitza to the first one because you can't start with him because once you do chalitza, that's it. There's no way out. You can only do yibum when you have two brothers of the same family. Why? This one did chalitza out. Yofi, we're glad to see you're back. Now we want to do our business, Yosef and Binyamin. Yosef wants to do chalitza. He cannot do anything else because he can't start with yibum. Binyamin can do yibum. Mazel tov. Why? Because as we said before, same thing as before. What? Why not to do yibum? If that's the avama, my tovim anoim, you're miyabim. And if it is what? The sister of your brother's chalutza, I meant what I said. The sister of your brother's chalutza, that's so far apart, chacham, we're not goizer. Now, what's the difference between this case and the case before? It's more or less the same. Difference is, aval, yebumi, v'adar michlitzloi. What would be if they do this process before, what happens if they do that, Yosef and Binyamin, before Reuven did chalitza? Why is that a problem? Maybe that's okay. Think about it. Why do we have to get rid so quickly of Reuven for him to do chalitza to both? Why don't we say, listen, the same suffix all the time? We don't know, we don't care about him. We know that our brother, one of them was his sister, one of them was his wife, one of them was a wife's sister, right? And therefore we do the same act again. Why is it important? They're not his brothers. Why is it important that the guy, the one brother from the other family, should do chalitza first? You know why? Very, very simple. I'm asking you a question. Let's say you're absolutely not related to the family of the deceased. You're not at all related. And there is a woman, it's a it's so simple that you're going to go like, aha. In other words, you meet a girl in Shidduchim, somebody meets a girl in Shidduchim, comes out that she's a Yavama, which wasn't yet pre-Chalitza. Are you allowed to marry her? Of course not. So that's the story. In other words, because each one of those may be Bechlal not from your family, guys. She may be a Yavama of somebody else. She may be the Yavama of who? Of Reuven and Atias. And you guys are Levinstein. So because this family didn't deal with their Zukuka, there's an Isser Doraisa of Yavama L'Shuk. Lotucha liyos achutza leish zar. It says first black and white in the Bible. And therefore what? Therefore, first of all, get her out of his sight, disconnect her from the other family. She's now, at best, chalitza from someone else. Of course, I can make him marry chalitza of another guy. That's what chalitza is for. Chalitza is for what? For marrying that girl. Anybody else can marry her, except for their own family. You know that. Yeah, chalitza, once a woman has chalitza with the brother-in-law, with the yavam, no regrets. They cannot go back to live together. Yeah, it's also. Yes, Meforshim Yavamis billion times. Yeah. One second. What's I promised you that I was listening to you. So therefore, so if the chalitza was done by another guy, matov manoim, she's not. If she's not from her family, just a yavam alashuk. She's not yavam alashuk. She's not from another family. She's kosher for us. Al hatzad that she's just a stranger for us. Yofi. Elamai al hatzad that she's a yavama. Then we are concerned, and that's why the first guy does first of all chalitza in case that she is the sister of his kuka, sister of his kuka. Careful, beware. So you start with chalitza, and then your brother, now her sister, you can't marry achos chalutzoscho, your own chalutza sister. The other brother can marry the second girl with Yibu Mazel Tov. End of story. End of Yavamas for today. Rabbi Rosen wants to enhance our what? What? Really? Oh, I thought of watch the YouTube again. Watch the Torah time again. Anyway. Okay. Let's continue. No. Well, what do you mean reversed? First, we said. Good. We said that. If the Eved, he was a naughty boy, and first of all he did Yibum, right? So then if he did Yibum, then his brother afterwards did chalitza or yibum, then b'di'evid it's okay. Why? Because in retrospect, now, since the sister of his wife, his sister-in-law, is out of Zika, so he's not married to Achas Kukosoi, because her Zika was out either by yibum or chalitza, brother. Now, b'di'evid he can stay with her. He started the wrong way around, not a good boy, but b'di'evid it's okay. Yeah, that's as we mentioned before. Thank you for reminding us. Very good. Let's say that. Okay, I would continue. I don't think I can offer you more. Yeah, you listen again and again. Toshma, Ellen has an interesting look in your eyes. Toshma, Detani, Ellen, Detani, Tavyumi. Right. Too much time without Ellen asking something is dangerous. Yeah, Toshma, Detani, Tavyumi. Yeah, the Tani Tavyumi, a brisa quoted by Tavyumi. Lezeh chamisha bonim or lezeh chamisha bonois. Yeah, it's a family. One man has 5 boys, and the other one has 5 girls. Kenai horror. Is it just perfect match? The Omar, but now what did he say? Achas mibnoisecha, says the father on behalf of his sons. They probably made him shliach, which they shouldn't, but they made him shliach. So now, achas mibnoisecha mekudeshes leechad mibonai. One of your daughters will be mekudesh to one of my sons, and we don't know who. Sounds like right from the beginning, the confusion started right at the root of it. We can smell already problems with Rava here. And what one of your sons will be, one of your daughters will be mekudesh to one of my sons. Kol achas ve'achas tzricha chamisha gitin. Each one of them needs 5 gittin from each one. Rachel, Leah, Shprinza, Tochter, Hinde. All 5 girls, they all need 5 gittin from each and every boy. It's 5 speakers boys to 5 speakers girls. 5 doubts and 5 doubts. So each one, yeah, they live in 5 towns, by the way, yeah. So each one of the boys has to give a get to each one of the girls. So each girl receives 5 gittin. We don't know who's who. It's get even cooler, even nicer. One of the brothers died. Oh, each one of them now needs what? 4 gittin, and each one of the sisters also needs chalitza. Why? Because maybe the dead brother, maybe he was the one. We don't know which one of the brothers was the husband, the chosen, which we don't know which one of the sister was the kala. And therefore, what? In case that the dead one was the husband, then one of the brothers, the oldest one, and you're right, Tzvi, by the way, it is true that the oldest one has to do the chatchila. The oldest brother preferably should do chalitza to each and every one of the girls. Okay? 1 second, please. So again, it's the same question again and again and again on Rava. Now Rava cannot answer anymore. Oy, 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 oy. We've cornered Rava. Do you want to tell me the same answer you gave me time and again, Rava? That at the beginning we knew very well that it was Shlomo Zalma and Mary Sprinza, and only then we got confused because we forgot. It's you can't do that anymore. It says outright, one of my sons to one of your daughters. So obviously the confusion was right at the beginning. He didn't say Shlomo Zalman to Shprinza Beila. He said one of my sons to one of your daughters. Maybe the fathers know what they're talking about in their heads. Fine. We, the Edim, don't know. The Beis Din doesn't know, and we're not sure even they know what they're talking about. That's another shaila. But Lemaisa, as far as we can see, the Kiddushin started on left foot with confusion. One of my sons, this nebulous one of my sons, to some foggy one of your daughters. And yet, Rava would say nothing started. But it's not what we say. It's an expensive, long procedure they have to go through. Many gittin and chalitza. So you see, we take it very seriously. Rabbis, this is a historical moment. Tiyufta Rava Tiyufta. Rava, at the end of the day, was Moisiv, is being challenged. Yeah. The Hilchas HaKavos had Abayey al Kagam. I'm back to Kita Daled. Halacha like Abayey in 6 cases in Shas. There are 6 cases in Shas in which Abayey, halacha is like Abayey against Rava. Really, there are many other cases, but they have explanations. It's not a confrontational machlokes. It's only argue about somebody else. Or sometimes Abayey convinced Rava. We see that also, and you got Rava inside. But the 6 places where it's a clear, boom, confrontational machlokes is Ya'al Kagam, which I'll gladly tell you what it is. But first, to listen to your question. End of Sugya. End of Sugya. The Gemara answered your question. Oh. No, we're asking on Rava all the time. The whole time we're challenging Rava, and he keeps. The chalitza was the explanation of Rava about what's the chiddush. Yeah, that was Rava explaining what's the chiddush in all these cases. Yeah. Yal Kagam. You want to know Yal Kagam, or it's a waste of time? Kitzur Rashi is telling you what Yal Kagam. The 6 places in Shas where Abayey halacha is lakim. Okay, let's do it. Yiu Shalom Midas. Yiu Shalom Midas. But Mitzvah Chafalaf on the base on the top of the page. Kita Daled, Mora Markovich, very nice teacher we had then. And what did he tell us? Yiu Shalom Midas. Abayey says he's Yeush, and the Rava says it's not Yiu. Shalom Midas means what? Yeah, anybody has children here? Kita Daled, yeah. So then what? What's the story? Somebody lost an object, and then what? He gave up, but he doesn't know that he lost it. In other words, he does know he lost it, but had he known, he would have given up. Can I already take the object for myself as if Yush happened or not? Yeah. Eid Zoimim. The person is an Eid Zoimim, and the Hazama took place, let's say, 2 months after the Eidus. He gave the Eidus in Nisan, and the Hazama, when we found out that he's a liar, was in Sivan. So now, do we say that all the Eiduyos between Nisan and Sivan are disqualified? Or do we say no, only from Sivan onwards is disqualified? Yeah. Is it from the time that he was found liar, or from the time that he said the lie? Right? So Abayey says Machmir from the time he said the lie. Lech Yomed Meilav. Eruvin. We did Eruvin in the evening. Yeah. Lech Yomed Meilav. There's a Movui. There's a street. In that street, the beginning of the street, which is Roshus Harabim B'Darabonon, Roshus HaYochid M'Doraisa. One street is bordering with open to another big street. Right? and between them there's like a gateway to enter the cul-de-sac, the dead end street, which is not the Raisa. It's very confusing. You're really entering from Shut Rabim to Shut Yochid. Ask Tim McKenzie, Tom McKinley, and even Moshe Chaim. They'll tell you Shut Rabim. It's a street. That's a George Washington Street, and that's Lincoln Street. Elamai, they make a lechi. Chomim said you have to make lechi. Lechi is a side pole, the pole that stands on the side of the entrance. What about lechi omed me'elav? Let's say the lechi is a tree that grew there already, or some kind of I don't know, post that's there already from the area, not for religious reasons. It's there anyways. Is that considered a good lechi? Yes or no? Says Abayey, no. Yeah, lechi omed me'elav is not a good lechi. Now, kuf. Kiddushin shalonim sa'ulabiyah. No other. You guys are all PhD in Kiddushin Zolbia. Get Gimel is Gilu Das Begita. I don't know that one that well. The person sent a get with the shliach, and then he gave a Gilu Das. He showed in some way that he's unhappy with the person continuing with the get. I don't know the clocus over there. I forgot. Mem is Mumar Ha'oichel Nevelos Lehachis. The person eats treif on purpose, which means he has the same. He's the editor of the New York Times. Yeah, he has the option of either eating kosher, eating treif, same taste, same everything. He would opt for the treif, right? I think so. Yeah. So then what? He's opting for the treif, dafka. Such a person, funnily enough, can be kosher laid. What? Because this guy is not doing it for money. A person who eats kosher, who eats non-kosher, kosher is expensive. Yeah, I met a guy in London. He told me that to eat kosher is expensive, so he doesn't eat kosher, right? Because it's very expensive to go to Golders Green. It's much more expensive than him eating Safeway. Yeah. So therefore, it's straight. But such a person cares about money more than about his religion. He says, I'm religious, but the money makes more sense to me. It's more of a factor in my life. So such a person may lie in Beis Din for bribe. Yeah, people who are uncareful with money are, targeted by Beis Din as bad edim. The person who eats the velas lehachis is a lachisnik, but in moment he's a very honest guy. He's a nice leftist. Yeah, he doesn't eat kosher, but he's very careful with his money in Yonim. So is he a good aid or not a good aid? Maybe he's a good aid to be made on something that happened. He's an honest person otherwise. So is he a good aid or not a good aid? What do you say? So Abayey says he's not a good aid. Abayey says he's not a good aid. He cannot be made. That's halacha. So these are the al-kagam. Tosfos argues with Rashi. Tosfos brings other cases. This is the al-kagam according to Rashi. Are we happy?
My sister was in science.
Weiter. Do you want me to review the Ibn business? No, okay. Okay. So just watch it again. Okay. The Seder. Maaseh b'chamesh noshim. Okay. So we said in the Mishnah. What did we say in the Mishnah? Yeah. Please remind me. What was the sefer? A person gave a basket full of figs to 5 women. Now, we're not so clear anymore if he wants to marry all 5 or one of the 5, right? We had different opinions there already, fine. And 2 of them were sisters. The Kiddushin do not apply to the sisters, that's for sure, right? The Lamaisa, for sure, the sisters won't be Mikudash. According to Rava and Echanami, they would, according to Rava, Bichlal, nothing started with the sisters. According to Abayey, you may say that 2 sisters, Dafka, need a get, right? And out of the 5, the sisters is one section. And the other 3, Kiddushin apply to all of them or one of them. Depends what it said. 3 women. What did he give them? He gave them a basket full of figs. They were from Shemitah. It was their field, the field of the women. But because it's Shemitah, he's allowed to pick it from there. Mashma, that otherwise, no. Let's see what the Gemara has to say now. Maaseh b'chamesh noshim. Omar Rav, Shmami Memesnisin Arba. I can hear from this Mishnah 4 different halachas. There are 4 different things that can learn from this Mishnah. Benokit Rav beyodei plus. And Rav actually, Rashi says 3 of them Rav held in his hands. What has been held in his hands? The Rashi says he was mesader in his girsa. In other words, 3 of them Rav, when he was learning, he had it in his regular learning as facts. And the 4th one was less clear or less clearly written in Rav's Mishnah, in Rav's teachings. 3 are clear, and the 4th one is more questionable, right? We'll see which one are clear to Rav, which one are clear-cut and known, and which one is not. Shmamina. Shmamina. The first one. A mekadesh beperes shvis mekodeshes. Chiddush number one. If you mekadesh with shmita fruit, it's kiddushin. Didn't occur to you that what? That would be a question. Says Rashi. I would have said that really it's not his money, right? I want to ask you a question. Oh, you those of you're new to Israel, you're new to Shemitah and Mitzvah Hashem soon. What are you allowed to do anything you want with Shemitah fruit? What can't you? Can't do business with it? Yeah, it's very bad nowadays, by the way. I know it's Hefker, but once I got it from Hefker, even then, I got it from Hefker, I picked it up and I took it home. Can I do whatever I want? Oh, it has Kedusha Shvis. I can't throw it in the garbage. It's a big problem. I can't make juices unless it's very normal to make juice out of it. Yes. Let's make juice from something a bit exotic, not so common. It's a big question. I can't smear it on my body unless, again, I'm not going into all the halachas now. I can do whatever I want. And as you very nicely said, I can't do business. Excuse me. I would say maybe marriage is business, serious business. He's taking pairs of Shemitah, right? And he's actually acquiring women or women for the pair of Shvis. Who said that's allowed? And I don't know. But Lamaisi here it says it's allowed, which is interesting, which can be developed as a question. Yeah, we see that regarding Kiddushin, it's considered Mamoinoi Zochabet. Look at Rashi inside. I recommend you look at Rashi. Amakadosh Beperes, it's a few lines before the end of the narrow lines. Amakadosh Beperes Shvis Mukudeshet. V'lo yamrina, and we don't say Lav Mamoinoi. Oh, the Zochabaininu. In other words, one could say that it's not even considered to be his money, the pair of Shemitah that he picked in the field. Ela, Kevin the Zocha Behen, Mamoinu Lechol Dovo. The Chiddush is that really it's his mammon completely. So, pshat number one would argue when I acquire the hefker fruit from the field in Shemitah, you're right, Yosef, that it's hefker. But when I acquire it, it's not mine. It's mine to eat, just like the korbanos. I'm asking a question. A korban that the koyanim eat chatas oshem, is it their money? No. Hashem has a table called the Mizbeach, and they eat off his table. Like my 8 years old, he's not the owner of the food in the house. You may think he is, but he's not yet. So what? He's eating off our finances. Baruch Hashem, we're very happy, off the big daddy. Same thing over here. You're eating from Hashem's fruit in Shemitah, but it's not your fruit. Who says you can be Mekadosh? I want to ask you a very cool question. It's a shalom halacha. Let's say a young couple, not a young couple. You have a boy and a girl at your table. You want to hear a case? Cool case, which we learned in Kiddushin and the beginning Iyun. And it's a meal during the week, not on Shabbos, because that would be a problem. And each one gets served, the nice guests, you give them nice balabati shamil, chicken, I don't know, couscous, whatever you give them. And the boy picks up the chicken he's about to eat, nice and fresh and good before he ate it. He gives it to the girl sitting next to him, and he says, "Right, mukudeshesli beoith ze kedas Moshe v'Yisrael." So besides being very interesting, and there are two edim and everything, there's a question. Do we say that he owns the chicken once it's in his plate? He owns the chicken and he cannot mekadosh the girl, or we say no. I'm the balabais. I gave you the chicken to eat. You can eat as much as you want. I want to be very large with you, but it's not yours. It's mine, and it's yours to eat. So you can't be mekadosh. It's a question. Before you take sides, you should realize it's a question of halacha. Yeah. In other words, yeah, what's the kavan of the host? But if this is something that does belong to the man fully, we say that it can be mekadosh. If you notice in the chuppahs, in the real frum chuppahs, the way it's supposed to be, the edim or the Mesader Kiddushin, I think, he asks the chotan, "Is this your ring? Did you buy it? With your money, without your money, did you do a gebot? Is it mamish your ring?" Maybe his mommy bought him the ring because the mommy does everything for the chotan and he never really acquired it. I'm serious. He didn't do a gebot. It's not his ring. Mommy bought the ring and she's like handing it to him. No, he has to mamish have kinyan. So by Shemitah, hey, it's not so simple. I would have said it's not your fruit. It's only yours to eat. So how can it be mekadosh a woman? Kamash malan, that it is his fruit. Kamash malan, yes, he can be mekadosh with peres shvis, and it's considered as his fruit that he can be mekadosh a woman. 1 second. Inami, another pshat. I confused a little. There are really two pshatim here. Inami, the lo tema leochlo merachmana v'lo dover acher. Oh, there's one word in the Torah, which is the source of all trouble. Why can't you sell peres shvis? Why can't you throw it into the garbage? Why can't you make medication from peres shvis? Why can't you make juices, melugma? Why? One word, leochlo. Hashem gave you the peres shvis to eat and nothing but eating, with some exceptions a little bit, or other things that are very, very normal. Oh, I would say le'ochlo v'lo lekadosh. Mashmalan that Kiddushin are not excluded by the word la'achla. Just like I can eat it, I can also be mekadesh a woman and she'll eat it too. But that's a chiddush. You want to ask something? Or you good? Continue. Pishmamino. Yeah. Pishmamino. Second chiddush which we learn from the same scenario of that basket case with the 5 women. Pishmamina kidsha begezel ena mekudeshes. A person stole with a person was mekadesh with a stolen item. She's not mekudeshes. Afilu begezel dito. Even if he stole from her. What's the chiddush? Even if he stole from her, Daf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph says Rashi. Yeah, I'm going to say this to you about peh. Let's say a guy stole something from the girl, but then he was mekadesh her with it. So if I was a girl, give him a slap on the face. But there is a havamina to say that it's like a prank, and now she's moichel him because of the kiddushin. I really want to marry him. He's such a nice guy. I always knew you felt like this about me. And therefore what? And therefore I would say that she's moichel the gzela and allows him to own it, knowing that he'll be mekadesh her with that, and she wants a kiddushin to continue. Yeah. Tamash Malan, we don't say that. How do you see it? How do you see gzela from our Mishnah? Says the Gemara, Mimai, how do you see? But the Ktani, listen carefully to the words of the Mishnah. Shalom hoiso, the fig field, the fig orchard was theirs. The shel shvis hoiso, it was theirs, and because it was shvis, only because of that it was allowed. Time of the shvis, the hefkeru, like you said very nicely, Yosef. Because shvis is hefker, that's why that would go on. That's why that would actually function. Mashma that if he did it first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6 years of the cycle, when the field is really theirs, with a sign no entry, and there would be downright gzela, then that wouldn't have worked. It shows you that gzela doesn't work for a girl, and we don't assume that she was moichel the gzela. Bishmamina, a third one, quick. The third thing, I'll just say very quickly, we'll go over it on Sunday. A woman can become, as I told you a few times, one woman is a representative of all 5, the women's group, yeah? She receives the basket from him on behalf of the other women, at least 3 of the 5. Oh, you see a woman can become a shliach, a shlicha, to receive kiddushin from her friend, even though she too is becoming her tzara. She's becoming her co-wife, which is trouble, tzara, and that will be, why is that a chiddush? To be continued on Sunday. I thank you very much. What? 5 women, 5 tzaras? I don't know. The Mormons have it. I don't know the manage. You should ask the Mormons how they run it. The Arabs, I don't know. So, Hashem Yishmor. May we have a very good Shabbos. Atzlocho, brocher, refuah shlema to my dear Shviger. Atzlocho to everybody on Torah anytime, and to our YouTube subscribers and viewers. I'm very, very glad to see you back here with us, Yaakov. Baruch Hashem. Very nice.